I realize that many of you have been using APA citation style for years, but we have some diverse academic backgrounds in this class, so I want to make sure everybody knows how to use the APA resources provided to you. Now, of course, if you want to be an expert on APA, you can always get a copy of the APA manual. It includes all the information you could possibly ever hope to know about citing sources and writing papers in APA. But for the purpose of being successful in this class, in the same folder in which you found this lecture, I provided 2 web links to free resources for APA. The first is Reporting Statistics in APA, a web page by Dr. Jeffrey Kahn, Illinois State University. This page gives instructions and examples of how to report in APA all the statistics you would possibly need to utilize for this class. So it's an excellent resource that you're going to need later in the semester. The second link is for the Purdue OWL. The OWL, the Open Writing Lab, is a wonderful resource for structuring papers. It has an overview of how to actually write papers in APA, how to structure headings, how to do your title page, how to set up a running head. It also gives you an overview of all the different types of academic references you may need to use. So let's just take a look in the books options. So here, basic format for books. We have the basic style for writing or a book citation. We have breakdowns for edited books with no authors, edited books with an author or authors, translated books, books that have more than a first edition. And then here we have citing a chapter in an edited book. Here's how you do multi-volume works. So any type of book that you might run into, there's an example and an explanation for how to cite it in APA on this website. Same thing for other sources. Let's do a quick example of how to cite a journal article in APA using this resource. So for journal articles, journals are periodicals, so I would go to Reference List Articles in Periodicals. And here we start with our basic form. So our basic form is the author's last name, first initial, second initial, all this separated by commas. Before your last author, you have an ampersand. After the authors, the year in parentheses, then the title of the article. Something really special to note here is that in titles in APA, titles of articles, titles of books, you only capitalize the first word, unless you have a proper noun or a word following a colon, in which case those words are also capitalized. Then you're going to have the journal name in italics, the volume, and right here you see the issue number. This is the basic form for a journal, but there are 2 types of journals. There are paginated journals and paginated by issue journals. See, most journals now are going to have continuous pagination in their journals. They're going to actually start issue 2 on the page after issue 1 ends. So it's just a continuous numbering throughout each volume. Unless you find a really old journal article that you want to cite, you're not going to need to report an issue in APA. But just in case you do have an old article that you want to cite the issue number in, here's an example of how to do that. So after the volume, you're going to put your page ranges. And then you're also going to put the digital object identification if one is provided. So let's look at that example. I pulled up a journal article that has authors that are probably familiar to several of you. Dr. Gaitan is actually one of our most popular professors here in the College of Business and Economics, and Dr. McEwen is our provost. So let's look at how we're going to cite this article. Now, this is a 2007, so I know this is going to be a newer article that uses the continuous pagination and doesn't need the issue. So what do? We have author's last name, comma, and then initials. Dr. Gaitan does not provide a middle initial, and that's fine. We just don't include it. Then after the second to last author's name, there's a comma, ampersand, and then start with the second author. Then in parentheses, we need the year, then the title of the article, then in italics, we're going to include the journal and the volume, and we find our volume right here. And then the pages right here, taking off our italics. Last, we need our DOI. For most journal articles, you're going to find the DOI right here. It's the digital object identification, which is developed to help us sort and find journal articles and other scholarly works online. But if you go to the home page where most journals are published, you'll also find it listed on that page. Now, our finishing touches. Like any other reference list, you use a hanging indent for APA. So here I go, making my hanging indent. This is the easiest way to do this, using the ruler in Microsoft Word. If you don't have a ruler in Microsoft Word, you find it by going to View and then clicking Ruler. So that's a brief overview on how to use these resources. If you have any issues, let me know. I'm happy to help.